Alrighty, it's not really in a season or any sort of tournament or anything. This is more of an exhibition match. I've made a deck for Alexis, and I'm going to put her up against Jaden to begin with. Now, with Jaden's current deck, I get the feeling Jaden's deck would have to be nerfed a little bit to be able to be really competitive against Alexis and Cyrus and all them. So I haven't updated his deck yet, but we'll see how Alexis' deck does to begin with. Now, it is mostly her Cyber Angels, or her Cyber Dancers, her Cyber themed cards, as we see. Cyber Egg Angel is in hand. Now, I'm not too familiar with these cards, so I'm going to forget the name of them. The other one's called Etoile Cyber or something like that. Okay, Hallowed Life Barrier. That's not a bad card. Discard a card. You take no damage from the opponents and no battle damage as well. As Jaden starts off with Elemental Hero Prisma. If I was going to nerf Jaden's deck, I would probably take Prisma out. Okay, there goes Cyber Egg Angel. And Alexis... what does she have to come back with here? There's a Polymerization. She doesn't have much. She may have drawn a little bit of a bad hand here, but she has a lot of her ritual cards in as well. Her there's a lot of these dancer cards that are summoned with what's the name of the ritual card? I can't remember the name of the ritual card, but it counts for all of them, not just one of them. So that's actually quite good. Alright, Jaden's played Elemental Hero Sparkman. Now this is just an exhibition match. It's just one to kind of test out the dual deck, get a feel for it for Alexis as well. I'll run her through Battle City. I get the feeling she will be a bit too strong for Duelist Kingdom, but then again, maybe not. Then again, with all those ritual cards, she probably would be. There is... That's her Fusion, Cyber Blader, but she needs Etoile Cyber and Blade Skater. As Cyber Gymnast is in hand, once per turn you can discard one card and target one face-up attack position monster your opponent controls and destroy that target. That's actually a pretty good effect. So what will she go with here? And, she selected Polymerization. Now, she does have a lot of ritual cards. So, that ritual booster can come in very handy. She does have... Oh, no, I think she's only got one Polymerization as well. Oh, she would. She's only got one Fusion. The Warrior returning alive from Jaden. Okay. I will open comments as well. I'll try and keep up with this duel as much as I can, but again, I'm not that familiar with Alexis's cards. Sir Aaron Game Guy says, I think Chum practically sweeping Duelist Kingdom already proves his strength. It's time for someone else to be tested. And Crimson Maelstrom says, now that Chum has a near perfect record in Duelist Kingdom, let's see how many people the Moki Mokis can get to fill the Moke. Now, I have tried to create a Moki Moki deck, and not all of the Moki Moki variants are actually available on this game. They must be fairly newer cards. The original Moki Mokis are all there, and Moki Moki King and all that. I've actually got Moki Moki King on physical card, but the Moki Moki deck, that's I don't know how I'm going to be able to create that because I've got literally 3 monsters and 3 fusions to work with. In terms of the Moki Mokis, that's all that's available on this game. Remember, this game did come out in 2019. It is a little bit dated. As Elemental Hero Burstinatrix is back on the field, and Jaden looks like he's going to be taking this one. I mean, he's using anime monsters, which is nice. Elemental Hero Flame Wingman there. He could have summoned Gaia, probably, but decided to go with Wingman. And 1200, so Alexis isn't looking good at this early stage. Squirrel Commander says a Moki Moki deck would be pretty interesting. it's just building it. What I could do, I could build the Moki Moki deck and possibly add something with it. What if I did the Moki Moki deck, or the Moki Moki monsters, I put in Eitsu, Soitsu, Koitsu, and whatever the other one was, I think there's 4 of them. And what if I put in the Dark Scorpion monsters? And that should be enough to constitute enough monsters to be realistic for a deck. So what if we did Moki Moki combined with a couple of other, not quite full-on archetypes, but enough to draw some interest, because Moki Mokis are fairies. Moki Moki Smackdown needs to work with a fairy type, and Eitsu, Soitsu, Koitsu in them, they're fairies. The Dark Scorpions, they're all warriors, there's only 5 of them as well. And in for the attack now, Jaden has wiped Alexis off in this first match. Her deck may not be that strong, although she didn't draw a particularly great hand, but we will set them up again. We'll just go from Alexis's perspective. Crimson Maelstrom, this is for Arcana and Mako. Both these decks are strong, but I'm putting my money on Mako. I was hoping Mako would win too. However, if you saw that match, it was a good match. Well, the first match was alright. In the Chumley vs Pegasus match, We The Free Productions says, my favourite is showing kids a picture online of an NES cartridge and telling them that the picture takes up more space than the game in it. Which it's funny, but it's actually not far from the truth. Really, is it? Yeah. The funny thing is with the old NES games, they take up so little space that if you get a picture with a big enough file size, you probably could be bigger than the game. As Cyber Gymnast comes to the field for Alexis on turn 1, and Sparkman is back again as well. But if from here, Alexis will discard from her hand and she'll be able to destroy Sparkman. What is next? Crimson Maelstrom says, let's see how Elemental Heroes does against Arcana's Dark Magicians. I'm hoping that Jaden doesn't let me down. Jaden and Arcana was a good match. It was a very, very good match. Without spoiling too much, if you haven't seen it yet, it is well worth watching. But the result may shock you. Sir Aaron Game Guy also says, Amazon deck against Battle City sounds great. And Mr. Hootie Hoo RDK commented on that, saying Amazon Sword Woman. Well, the Amazon S deck is very, very strong. And that is an idea to run the Amazon S deck. It's okay. What's that card called? Double something. It's put both players to a direct attack. So Alexis got a direct attack from Sparkman, and Cyber Gymnast attacked back. However, Cyber Gymnast was safe from the attack, so Alexis here can activate the effect again. And Sparkman, for the second time, has been destroyed. Alexis may be getting a bit of an advantage on this one. Etoile Cyber is Carman. She's played Monster Reborn, so she's going to bring back Sparkman. And Jaden may be in trouble here. We The Free Production says, I'm sure plenty of save files stopped with that bastard behind bars. That's for Micah in Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, my save file is currently in a holding pattern until I explore the rest of the map. I tell you what, I'm trying to get some of the camp item requests to trigger, and they are something else. To actually trigger them to happen is very, very random. As Elemental Hero Prisma, once again, they've drawn very similar cards to last match. Moonwolfie says, Mako is underrated, but Arcana is tricky, and he has many ways to get his Dark Magicians on the field. Unfortunately, Mako didn't stand a chance against them on this day. And also says, I have a whole box of VHS tapes in the attic. Most are Disney or other movies, but I do have some Power Rangers and Pokemon on VHS. Pretty sure there is a box of cassette tapes and vinyl records in the attic. With vinyl records, get some of them checked out. If if you ever decide to sell them, depending what press and like how rare and how old they are, they can be worth a lot of money, especially if they're shellac. Shellac's a very, very old kind of record, but it also depends on what artist it is as well. And while I have streaming for music, I do also have CD collection. I still got a lot of CDs too, and will still buy CDs for certain artists. I of course have a few services as Elemental Hero Neos has just come to the field. And Elemental Hero Neos is going to be very difficult for Alexis to get rid of. Jaden has pretty much taken back field advantage here, as Prisma got rid of that other cyber card, the one where you discard from your hand and destroy a monster on the field. So notice, I of course have a few services for streaming movies and TV shows, but every so often I will watch the DVD instead of watching on streaming. DVD does still win in the fact that it can't ever be taken, and you can also skip a bit easier to where you want to on a DVD as well. Though lately I would just wait for a movie to show up on a streaming instead of watching it in theaters, and I didn't buy a physical copy since it's on streaming. Last thing I saw in the cinemas was when I went to Bunbury, because my young cousin, he's only like 6 or something, she pretty much gave me no other option but to come and watch Moana 2. Not including that, the last time I was in the cinemas, I think was when the SpongeBob Sponge Out of Water movie came out. So yeah, I don't go to the cinemas often. Oh no, actually, no, it might have been Star Wars 9. Whichever, I think it was Star Wars 9 actually. And Elemental Hero Bubble Man comes to the field, and Alexis, she's running out of options. She's got that 6-star in her hand as well, which she can't do too much with. 800 off. Again, Connor Chavez says, release time wise works for me pretty well for whatever the time is for you, because I'm usually just going on lunch break and your videos have just dropped, but I will always watch, play around with it and see what most people gravitate to the most. Yeah, the upload times, yeah, it will take a bit of experiment, I think, but on this day, I'll probably put them out at the same time. The reason why the Arcana and Jaden one was released a little bit later than normal yesterday is because I forgot to hit the publish button before I close the laptop. With scheduling, you have to hit the schedule tab, and you'll set it to publish at a certain time, and I didn't hit the schedule button, so it just sat there being ready to publish, but just didn't actually have that activation until I checked it like 2 or 3 in the morning and found that the video wasn't there, and I'm like, oh crap, did I not publish that? And sure enough, I hadn't. Mr. Hootie Hoo RDK says, yeet, and now you see him, now you don't. And speaking of WWE, how good was Raw today? And it's the final Raw before the Royal Rumble. And I was watching the Royal Rumble 2014 last night. That's the one where Batista won, and everybody turned on the event. I actually fell asleep through it, if I'm being honest. But and it looks like Alexis may be done here. She's just used Dispel to get rid of that skyscraper. But Jaden, all in all, used pretty much his anime cards to get it done on this day. But Alexis just not powerful enough. She didn't draw any of her ritual monsters. There's like 5 of them in her deck as well. Maybe on a different day she would draw better cards. But that's it. Jaden picks up a 2-0 win against Alexis in this exhibition. So we got a first look at Alexis's deck, and I reckon putting her against Battle City might be one of the options that we go for from here as well. Thanks everybody for tuning in, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, take care, farewell.